Hello and welcome to another motorcycling video. Today is Wednesday the 23rd of July 2025. I've just finished my morning run. I've jumped on the Spyder and I'm heading home. I don't have any particular topic to talk about today, so I'm just going to talk about whatever comes into my head as I'm riding along. So at the moment I'm in a part of Goulburn that's known sometimes as Old Goulburn, because it's the place where the original settlement of Goulburn was founded. It's right near the river, and you can probably see as you're going past here some of the older, more historic houses that are in this area, as well as more modern houses. To the left-hand side behind the houses is Goulburn North Public School, which is one of the oldest schools in Goulburn, and behind me, where I just set off from, is the Goulburn Jail or Goulburn Correctional Centre. Now, coming up to a roundabout here, and I'm going to make a right-hand turn and go along Union Street. Remember, when you're leaving a roundabout, that you're meant to indicate a left turn. So you're meant to indicate as you leave the roundabout that you're going to be turning left, even though you're perhaps going straight through. You're still meant to indicate that you're turning left. I'm coming up towards North Park now, which has had some renovations and refurbishments and so on. A new pavilion's been built. And I see there are some places now for spectators and coaches and so on to sit. This is the home of some of the junior rugby league in Goulburn, and also the home of the Goulburn Stockmen, who I believe are the local rugby league team that play in the Canberra competition. As I said, I don't have a particular topic today, so I'll just give you a bit of a quick tour guide around Goulburn as I'm riding along. And coming up here on the left-hand side is Tully Park. Now, Tully Park is one of two golf courses in Goulburn. The other one is the Goulburn Golf Club. I'm not sure where the Tully Park name comes from, and I don't play golf, so I can't tell you what the course is like. It seems fairly popular. I see a lot of people playing on it at various times, and some of the running tracks that I run around the back of it. I'm coming up here towards the Kenmore Bridge. It's called the Kenmore Bridge because about 1 kilometre and a bit to my right hand side is the old psychiatric hospital, Kenmore Psychiatric Hospital, which has been closed for about 2 or 3 decades now. It's rapidly falling into disrepute, but this is a bridge that goes over the Wallandilly, and it's one of 3 major concrete span bridges that cross the Wallandilly. So I'm going up Middle Arm Road, this is called here, and I'm coming to the intersection of Queen Street, McDermott Drive and Middle Arm Road that goes through. On the left-hand side, where I am now, is the Goulburn Police Academy, and directly across the roundabout is Mulwarry High, which is one of the 2 government high schools in Goulburn. To the left is McDermott Drive, and to the right is Queen Street and the suburb of Bradfordville. Remembering I've got to make my left indicator as I leave the roundabout. I'm going up Mary's Mount Road here, and the Mulwarry High Agricultural Farm and Wetlands Facility is on the left hand side, and on the right hand side residential area. I run this area frequently. This path on the left hand side, not steep, but it's a gentle rise. Coming up to the electricity substation in a moment, and on the right hand side opposite that is St Patrick's Catholic Cemetery. This is going to Mary's Mount Road, connects with Middle Arm Road here. At the T intersection I'm going to take a left hand turn and go up Mary's Mount Road for about 2 k's. So you can see the electricity substation on the right hand side there, and on the left hand side is a continuation of the Mulwarry High School Farm and Wetlands area, and the building coming up on the left hand side is the Challenge Foundation building. Now, to the best of my knowledge, the Challenge Foundation is a body that provides respite care for families with people who have disabilities. A couple of elections ago, the Challenge Foundation received some money from the government of the time to build this facility, and it looks like it's fairly close to being finished, and I guess we'll start doing the sorts of things that it does. There are housing estates on the right and left here going up Mary's Mount Road, and one of many roundabouts. I think this road has about 6 roundabouts on it. On the right hand side going up the hill here is the first of 2 new estates that are being opened up here. One is called Blakely's Run. I couldn't tell you how many blocks there are in there, but there are going to be lots and lots of blocks in that estate. And just down the other side of this hill, you'll be able to see it in a moment, is stage 2 of an estate that's already developed. It's called Tenerife or Tenerife. And this is the second stage of that, and you can see earthworks and roads, and you can, if you're watching this in full screen, you'll be able to see on the right hand side houses that are already being built there. So there's quite a lot of subdivisions and housing going on here, lots of work for the tradesmen, and no doubt lots of families that will be living in these houses once they're built. And another of them, I think, as I said, half a dozen roundabouts on this particular road. You'll be able to see on the right hand side here stage 1 of the Tenerife estate. Left hand side is floodplain, and so there's no building on that, but a little further up the hill is another estate called the Tillage, which has been open for about 3 or 4 years, and I think all the blocks have now been sold and are being built on, although I don't want to be quoted on that, and the real estate agents will be able to tell you for certain. And you'll notice a sign there about another roundabout just at the top of this rise, and then there are surprisingly 2 more to go. So the Tillage is on the left, just here, and then on the right, another relatively new estate that's called Misful Park. One of the good things about this estate, about these estates here, is that there are now footpaths or running paths or cycle paths, whatever you want to call them, on both sides of the road for most of the length of this road. And one more roundabout to go, and then you'll, on the right hand side, you'll see the cafe and shopping centre that's being developed, and also there'll be a service station on the corner of what is Mary's Mount Road and the Crookmill Road. When I come to that T intersection, as I go through this next roundabout, I'm going to make a left-hand turn and head back towards Goulburn and towards my home. If you were to turn right, you would be going towards Crookmill. And here's the last of the roundabouts on this road. If you've been keeping count, I think, as I said, there are about 6 of them. Speaking of roundabouts, the Transport Department of New South Wales and the Goulburn Mulwaree Council are in the process of looking at some of the intersections in Goulburn and finding ways to improve traffic flow. If you're not a Goulburn resident, it's not a point me telling you which streets they are, but there seem to be, for each of the intersections, 2 options. The first option is to put traffic lights. That seems a fairly simple, straightforward process. You put some traffic lights and then cars stop and go. One of the advantages of traffic lights, or one of the many advantages of traffic lights, is that they provide a clear point where pedestrians can cross the road and traffic has to stop for them. They take less time to install than building a roundabout, but they don't improve traffic flow because the traffic flow stops and starts with the colour of the light. The second option for each of those 3 intersections is to build a roundabout. Now, the roundabout has some pros and cons to it. One of the obvious pros about it is that vehicles can drive onto the roundabout and traffic flow can be much improved because you're not required to stop at traffic lights all the time. Although there is a rule that says the first vehicle on the roundabout goes first, and vehicles that are not on the roundabout should not enter the roundabout until the vehicle that is already on there has left. So that does sometimes cause a bit of a problem with traffic flow and people not quite understanding that rule. But in comparison with the roundabout with the traffic lights where you will have to stop while the light is red, the roundabout is supposed to provide smoother traffic flow. The disadvantages of roundabouts are, first of all, they take longer to build. They're more expensive to build, and because they take longer, they disrupt the traffic for much longer. And in some cases, you'll have to just simply find another way to get where you want to go without using that particular intersection. The advantage of the roundabout over the traffic lights, as well as the improved traffic flow, is that once it's there, and it can be there for 100 years, and the only thing you've got to do is prune the plants if you plant any, or get the grass cut every now and again. If you don't prune that, you just make it concrete and put a sign on it that says the name of the streets or direction of the next town or whatever it is, then you don't have any maintenance. If you put traffic lights in, then periodically you've got to send people out to clean the lens of each of the lights and maybe even replace a light bulb or a globe or whatever it is that makes these things operate these days. And so that's an ongoing factor, an ongoing consideration, whereas you obviously don't have that with the roundabout. Now the Department of Transport for New South Wales, or New South Wales Department of Transport, whatever their proper name is, are in the process of consulting people about that. And you may have seen the surveys on Facebook or mention of it in newspapers or some other social media that you're using. They have a consultation period, what they call the listening period. I don't know whether the listening period actually means anything or they've already made up their mind and they're just going through the motions. I suppose we'll see when and if the work starts on any of those intersections. Just mentioning that as something that's been come up in my feed lately and something that I've been thinking about. This is the area behind Wallandilly Public School. Wallandilly Public School is the youngest of all, or the newest of all the public schools in Goulburn. It was opened in the 1970s, I think, and was for a time the demonstration school for the Teachers College. What that involved is that students from the Teachers College would go to Wallandilly Public School and see teachers there giving lessons. They would demonstrate how to give lessons. When the Teachers College closed, it ceased to be a demonstration school and was just called Wallandilly Public School. And I'm not sure if the idea of going for demonstration lessons is still used as part of teacher training or not. A fairly steep hill called Gilmore Street here. I think I'm coming on the downside of it now. I have run up and down this hill a couple of times and walked it many times with my dog. At the bottom of this hill at the T intersection is Trinity Catholic College. Trinity Catholic College used to be a single-sex boys' school called St Patrick's College, but probably 2 or 3 decades ago or more, it became a co-ed Catholic high school and changed its name from St Patrick's to Trinity. At the same time, the all-girls Catholic high school in Goulburn called Marian College was closed, and now is the site for the Quest Apartments and various other buildings down in there. Alright, well, I'm almost on my way, almost home now after that brief tour of Goulburn, so I hope you've enjoyed the tour guide around Goulburn. If you have any comments about anything I've said or you'd like to leave them in the appropriate place, as always, comment on the content, and when I become aware of your comments, I'll be happy to respond and reply in what I think is the most appropriate way. Thank you for watching. Have a good day with whatever you're doing, and I'll talk to you again when I'm making the next motorcycling video.